दोस्तों एक कॉल लेंदे हैं देखते हैं कि की इंक्वायरी है हाँ जी sir Shares my name is Amarjot and then you can discuss your problem whatever your problem is. Let's see what the answer comes out to be. I'm sorry, you want it for Canadian PR, okay? Sure, I'll try. Go ahead. Go ahead. What is the eligibility? What is your assessment? Yeah. Yeah. I have to stop you. Shreyas. Yeah, but can I call you Shreyas?
Yes.
Yes. So let me ask you quickly. Do you have a master's degree?
No, sir. I'm an undergrad.
Okay, you have a bachelor's degree.
Correct.
And what is your age?
I'm 43.
You are 43. You do not have a master's degree, so there is absolutely no way that you will qualify for point system in the under which is called express entry. So it will not happen for you at all. What is your profession? You are did you say you are an engineer or a management graduate? What is your profession?
I'm a business management graduate.
No, what do you do in business? Are you a finance, sales manager? What do you do?
No, retail sales.
You do retail sales?
Correct.
Okay, so you are a retail sales manager right now in India. Where are you working?
I'm in India right now, but I'm not working anymore because I was working in the US.
Yeah. Okay. So it will not fly, Shreyas, because right now you do not have adequate points. You lack a master's degree, and your age is crossing 43. So express entry is absolutely not a way to go. What about your wife? Does your wife has a master's degree?
I'm not married, so I'm single.
Oh, you are single. Okay, so you are just alone, and your US visa is valid or expired now? H1B is gone.
The H1B has expired, and the renewal did not go.
Okay. So that's forget about that option at all. Unfortunately, the Canada is not an option for you in the point system because of lack of points. So I don't see any way that you can qualify there. The only way possible the going forward is that if you have a job offer, perhaps in Canada, maybe you can apply for a work permit, or hey, that's all it is. If you want to study something, that is a total different option. Many people will like to come to study in Canada. 200,000 students do come here from India to study something like a master's degree, MBA, or anything that you like. And even though you have a little age, like a gap, but I've seen so many people who will still be successful in getting the study visa even at this age, and after a long gap of the experience as well. So
That was one that I had because I'm 43. I was doubtful if I can get through for a study visa.
Yeah.
And the next thing that I wanted to ask was, do I have to do a master's, or I can pick a field that I'm interested in to study?
No, you can pick a field to study, anything that you like. I mean, but when the visa officers at the Canadian government look at your study visa application, they are looking at the bona fides. What is the relevancy? How is it going to matter to you educationally and professionally. So they rather see something something linked to your previous background. So if you have had a business management degree and you had a retail sales experience, I would prefer that you proceed and continue in that field for now, and later on, of course, you can always change it. So I strongly urge that you should go for a MBA in retail management, or MBA in general sales management, or MBA in some kind of international marketing management. I think that is more conducive towards getting the successful study visa.
Okay. And after into that, in case if I go that route, and after I do that, and after I complete my education, my age would be 45 plus. Will I be able to apply for PR after that? Is it that after staying in Canada?
Absolutely, yes. So after you become a student and you get your study permit and later on work permit, just like OPT in US, eventually you will work somewhere and you will gather some Canadian work experience. So at that point of time, even though your express entry points will not be much higher than if you were junior, if you are younger, but depending on the provinces, depending on where you are working, you will likely qualify under the nomination systems available to the provinces. Many provinces like mine, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, they always have a PNP program for students who have graduated from the universities in that province and they are working for some employer in that province. So that option is always available. Um, uh, Close to 60 to 70% of the students, is the population of the express entry successful. So all the express entry, successful applicants, out of all the applicants, close to about 2/3 of them are from the students who did study something in Canada.
Okay. So that is an option open for me if I choose to go that route.
Yeah.
Okay. Regarding me is that's what, because I wanted to make sure if I qualify or not. But my brother, he's done his masters
Yeah.
in international business, and he's also interested in applying for the PR. He has a work experience of 3 years in a warehouse, and before that, he was handling my father's business. So does that experience of handling the business count?
Yes.
Work experience?
Yes, it does. Let me ask him, what is his age?
I'm 39 now.
Yeah, you are little cross, because after 35, the points start, just start diminishing. You are 39. You have an MBA.
It's MIB, Master of International Business.
Okay. What is your English language score? IELTS score.
No, actually, I didn't write any exam.
Okay, so unless we know your IELTS score, we do not know your points. So you need to have at least at the level of CLB 9. You can go to Google and check out. Type on Google CLB 9. You will see what is this English level, and then you need to get this English level to come close to the points where you are going. So typically, 778 is the standard benchmark for people who want to score high in express entry. And the age has to be between 29 and 34. That's the maximum impetus on the points. So you're a little way off. If you do not get the English language score to that level or higher, you need higher actually than 778. If you don't get that far, then Canada is closed for you. That means express entry is not an option practical for you. You also have to find a job or maybe go there to Canada to study something. So just briefly, student option is an option open to pretty much anybody outside Canada. Canada, just like US, is always looking at international students. International students bring in money 3 times more than the domestic tuition fee, and they always attract students who want to study something. Provided you are a genuine student, you have the money, and you have the capability to study, Canada does not mind that you come as a student.
since I have completed my masters, can I go for short-term course?
You can pick any course that you like as long as it sounds relevant and it has some meaning to your future career, and the visa officer can see through it whether it's just for entry point to Canada or really you want to do something in your career. So that is the main distinguishing point to find out why you want to do this. And of course you write your SOP, statement of purpose, to describe why you're studying this. If you can convince him, they have no problem.
Okay, thanks, sir. Okay, do you have to write Ielts academic? Mr. Amarjot,
Yes.
a question.
Yeah.
If I'm for masters, say for example, my name is Shreyas.
Yes.
If I'm going for master, the Ielts that I'll be writing, will it be academic or general?
The universities always demand for academic. They have nothing to do with general. For the immigration for express entry, they always specify general. So there's a little demarcation between study and PR. So what you need is academic for study.
Academic for studies.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that kinds of answers most of my question. Can you hold for me for 1 minute, sir?
I will hold for you for 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Option थी हमारे पास से study visa માં જવાનો chance છે, but I'll have to do the academic IELTS. And એના પછી I'll have to apply for the college to see if I get through.
I will put you in hold for a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. दोस्तों, मैं किसी नाल गल चल रही है मेरी इंडिया इस वक्त. काफ़ी लोग मैनू टाइप कर रहे हैं कुछ comments. I don't have time to read all those comments and let alone actually justify answering those things. I am not in the thing. If you have a specific question or something, then you'll have to set up a time. To see your agreement form par ke time set kar lo. Then I can give you my 2-hour allotted time. But there are a lot of questions here. I apologize. I cannot answer those questions right now because I'm talking to somebody on the phone on India. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a possibility of coming there on a visitor's visa and finding a job and then changing your status or applying for a work permit?
Absolutely, it's possible. You can do that. But how will you get the visitor visa? What is the purpose that you will show to get the visitor visa?
Just traveling, just to see places.
Well, of course, you can go.
As a tourist.
Well, if you can get I have no problem. If you can get the visitor visa, of course, the law right now allows people to transition to a work visa from visitor visa at present without even leaving Canada at present because of the COVID. What happens in the future, we do not know, but for sure that is a good strategy if you can. Get a visitor visa, and B, if you can find yourself a job. Yeah, no problem.
Sure. Okay, understood. And you mentioned that right now there is that option of converting your visitor's visa to the work permit.
Yeah.
Any idea how long that window is going to be for?
So typically, think about this. If you get a 10-year multiple visa from India, and you come to Canada and they give you a stamp for 6 months, and this is just a standard. I mean, sometimes could go to 3 months or even less. So if you get a stamp for 6 months, and if you have a job offer in, let's say, second or third month, you always be within the time to apply within that remaining 4 months. Typically, it takes 2 to 3 months for the conversion of application to take place from visitor to work visa within Canada. So you have to be prepared. But just in case, sometimes if it takes longer, then you will have to either extend your 6-month stay or maybe leave Canada, because otherwise you will be at the risk of overstay in Canada, and that's not good.
Okay. Understood that. The way to enter in Canada. Amar, my friend is asking.
Yes.
Is there any other way to where can I get a job in Canada at the age of 40?
You can get any job in Canada provided you are okay and the employer is willing to hire you. They have no age restriction, just like in US. You know, pretty much anywhere in the world, actually, if the employer is looking to hire you and if they like your skills, and if they're desperate to want you, I mean, sure, just because you are at the certain age, they will not stop that hiring. They are looking for skills. They are not looking for age.
Amar sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have answered everything that we wanted to know.
Okay.
And one more thing. If I'm coming there on a visitor's visa and applying for a work permit,
Yeah.
you said it normally takes about 2 to 3 months time for it to happen.
Typically.
And I cannot overstay because it'll put me in a different thing.
Yeah.
What to know was, okay, next question was, if I come like that and after I get the job and all that, will I be able to sponsor my brother?
No, there's no brother sponsorship available in this category or in any category, actually, because even if you become PR, there's no stream of sponsorship of brother. Just like in US, if you are a green card holder in US, you cannot sponsor your brother. Only once you are US citizens, you can sponsor your brother. Then that takes a long time. In Canada, similarly, there's no brother sponsorship for somebody who's over 40, 39 plus. So the only option available for PR and citizens are that they can sponsor their parents, and if the parents are being accompanied by younger siblings, like younger brothers and sisters who are less than 22, they can get to accompany the parents. But as an independent category, brother sister sponsorship is not an option.
So even if I become a citizen, that is not an option.
No, that is not an option. Brothers and sisters sponsor. Yes, but when the brother is applying for immigration independently, and of course, for example, in express entry, they get points for the other brother who is a citizen. So that is a small bonus available to them. But of course, they have to qualify in the independent express entry immigration in themselves. But in this case, it's not going to happen. So practically, there's no benefit of you to him and vice versa.
Okay, so that clarifies that.
Yeah.
Sir, if I come for a studying purpose, if I want to get a student, what short-term course can I select for study?
Yeah, I always recommend going for a 2-year course at the least, because if you go for a 1-year course or less, which is like minimum is 8 months, if you go for that duration, you will not have sufficient work permit privileges after you graduate, and that's a problem, because if you cannot find a job, then in time, then you will not be able to accumulate experience to go forward. If you study for a 2-year program, you will likely receive a 3-year work permit, and that is a sufficient time for you to search for employers, and then work and gather experience, and then do a PNP. So there's enough time. So my answer is that you should always look out for a 2-year diploma program rather than less.
So what do you prefer that what kind of course that you prefer for the 2 years programs? What's your advice?
As I said earlier, that it has to be relevant to your previous background and in the future what you're trying to do. So if you are, for example, in his case, if he was in business management and retail management, I mean, if he has to continue in studying something in management, that makes sense. But if he says suddenly that he wants to study, for example, architecture or nursing or pharmacy or hotel management or hospitality, something that does not make sense to him or neither to the visa officer. So it has to be relevant to the previous background.
So what is the what more vacancies are there for the courses that are available? For example, there will be some marketing like that, sir.
Well, yeah, you have to go to Google and look at all the universities in Canada and find out what courses are available. Just like American universities, there are all kind of courses available for you to study. You can study anything you like, and they're always looking for students in different semesters. Perhaps January is too close. Maybe you can go for March or April, coming summer, or maybe next fall of 2021. So you will see those options on the certain universities. So for example, if you want to live in Toronto, so you go to I don't remember all the universities name, but you can go to Google and type out the names of the universities and colleges in Toronto, near in that area, and then find out how much the fees are and how much their courses, entry point, everything is very self-evidently displayed there.
Okay, sir. Sir, in my case, I have completed my master degree of logistics, master of international business. If I come to Canada for a B category or a D category, will I get at least NOC jobs there, sir?
Well, that is a difficult question to answer. When you the course, whatever course you do, it gives you certain skills and diploma, degree, something, and hopefully you learn something about it, and then you look at jobs available. So there's no guarantee that if you do business management or something related today in Canada that you will get a job. Jobs are always difficult to apply, and not difficult to get, of course, easy to apply, but anywhere in India and America and Europe, anywhere you see, there are certain skills which are always in demand, other skills are not. For example, everybody's trying to recruit health professionals right now: doctors, nurses, pharmacists, live-in caregivers, physiotherapists, psychiatrists. Those people are always in demand, they're always being hired. On the other hand, software engineers, IT engineers, electrical engineers, those kind of engineering talent, which is called a STEM category, as your brother knows in H1B, STM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They are always in demand, far more than the non-STEM occupations. So you have to choose what is in your previous background, and number two, what is in the sunrise occupations. If you are trying to study, for example, banking or accountancy or something, there will be less jobs than if you study something in engineering, for example. So you have to compare, you have to do this research on your own on Google to see which occupations are more promising in the future.
From India itself, I can apply the job in Canada. Is that right, sir?
You can apply for any job. Application is not a problem. Whether they like you or whether they call you, that's a different matter. You tell them that you are not a Canadian resident, then of course they lose interest, because they cannot they don't want to do the paperwork of LMIA and other work permit. But if you are a student in Canada, if you're already in Canada, it is slightly easy for them to actually talk to you and process your paperwork and take those responsibilities. From a distance, it becomes little too impractical for many corporations, not all. But in some cases where, for example, if some company is looking for a software genius, and if you are the software genius without which the company cannot run, then they will hire you no matter where you live. But are you in one of those genius categories? You will know better. So if you are if you have a Nobel Prize in mathematics, or if you are the head of Google, and if you are running the whole show of Amazon technology, maybe they will find a way to get you in. But if you are just a mediocre talent, perhaps they will find an excuse not to.
So 1 second, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, after I complete my master's, you said there is a possibility of me getting a 3 years work permit.
Absolutely.
And if I'm not able to find a job, just for the sake of saying, if I'm not able to find a job, related to the studies that I have done, is it possible for me to work any other jobs in
Yes.
that period of time?
Absolutely. So when you get the work permit, it does not make you bound to that certain occupation where what you studied. You can work in any occupation, and if it is a skilled occupation, for example, if you studied uh, sales management, but if you are working in a restaurant, it does not matter at all in your PR, in your PNP, for example. So you can work in any occupation after getting the work permit.
Okay, if that happens, is it possible for me to apply for my PR working like that after 2 years?
Absolutely. It all depends on what I said is the provincial nominee system in your case, because express entry is not favoring you because of the age. You will have to go to the provincial nominee system. Most of the provincial nominee system require that you have experience in that province for close to at least 9 to 12 months invariably. So give or take about 1 year. So if you graduate from a certain province, let's say you went to British Columbia, you went to University of Vancouver, University of British Columbia, and if you're living in Vancouver and if you work there for close to at least 6 to 12 months, and then you will be eligible to file your application via PNP.
Okay, and we are talking about the PR.
Yeah, the PNP is a route towards PR. So once you get provincial nomination, and then you fill up the forms, and then you get the PR. So in your case, without PNP, PR is not possible.
Okay, so if I apply for the PR, how long is the duration before I can apply for a PR?
Well,
I mean, if after I apply.
So I will not take the example. I will not take the example of BC, because BC you can even apply without job experience. Let's take the example of something like Manitoba or Saskatchewan, where it is slightly cheaper to study. If you work in these provinces for at least, let's say, 1 year, and then you apply for PNP, and the PNP takes close to about 6 to 7 months. So, and then once they give you PNP, it could be around 18 months after you graduate. And then once you have the PNP, and then you are continuing to live in Canada, you already have a work permit, you are making money while your PR application is pending. That will take another 18 to 24 months. So give or take 3 to 4 years.
Okay. So after the PR process is complete, say after the 3 or 4 years, once the PR process is complete and I have the PR, and if I want to apply for the citizenship, how long is the wait after that?
Minimum 4 years.
After I receive the PR, it's 4 years period.
Yes.
And I can
Yes.
citizenship.
Yes.
Okay, so that clarifies that.
Actually, it used to be. Let me check. It used to be 3 years. I don't know if it's. But I can check. You can ask other question. I can. I can check. I'm sorry.
Does that vary? That wait time, does it vary by the province, or will it be the same for any that I go for?
No, it is for citizenship.
Yes.
No. Of course, no matter what province you are, that's fine. So for citizenship, if you have to apply for citizenship, I'm sorry, I take it back. It used to be 4 years. Now it is 3 years. It tells you that I've not applied for anybody so far recently. You need to be physically in Canada for 1,095 days, which is about 3 years. If you do 365 multiply by, so it's three years in the past 5 years on PR status. So after you have the PR status, in 3 years plus.
Okay, and the PNP option that you mentioned, for you to get a PNP after you finish the education, that period, it varies by province, correct?
It varies by province. Just like I said, in BC, there's no waiting time. In Alberta, there is a waiting time. You can check everything on the website. In Manitoba, Saskatchewan, also there's a waiting time. Give or take 6 to 9 months, or even the longer you work in that province, the more points you get. They have their own individual point system.
Okay. Okay. Can you hold for me 1 minute, sir?
Yes, please.
The next question that I have for you, sir, is if I'm going for education, what is the balance in the account, like bank balance that I'll have to show?
Well, it all depends on what is the cost of the education. So you need 1 year tuition fee, which could be anywhere from $18,000 $20,000, and plus 1 year living expenses. So if the tuition fee is $18,000, it's just an estimate, and the living expense 10,000. So you need close to about $28,000 to proceed forward. So you have to deposit the 1 year fees to them, and you have to buy a 1 year living expenses GIC. So you are looking at out of pocket expenses of close to $30,000, which is multiplied by 55, which is close to 15 to 16 lakh rupees.
Okay. And when you go for study, you have to pay that 1 year fees in advance, and then you pay the second year fees when the time is due.
Well, you will pay the second year fees in Canada once you are in Canada. So you can continue to work part time, for example, 20 hours a week. Outside the campus, within campus, you can work even more hours, and then you continue to make money. And just like students in the US, also they work part time at gas stations, 7-Eleven, wherever you can find jobs. So you can earn money, and you can pay through that, or you can transfer money from India to pay the second year fees. Doesn't matter.
Okay, got that. Okay, hold for me 1 minute, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, hang on just a minute. Let me just let out a message here. Guys, I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody in India, so I cannot take all your comments. There are many comments on the YouTube, I think, but I'm not in the position to answer any comments from there. I'm talking to somebody in India, so I'm just focused on this call right now. Yeah, go ahead, Shresh. What is the other question?
Hold for me 1 minute, sir. That's tax capacity. So, tax it depends on the province that you are in. So it is different for every province, and you do understand that the tax bracket model. So it will be different for each and every job that you do.
What is the question of tax? I hear you are asking about the taxation. So I'll give you a brief thing about tax. Just like in US and in Canada, whatever your income is in Canada, they will be taxed. Not your income from India, but any income that you generate from Canada will be taxed. It all depends on your tax bracket and the province, as you said. It varies from could be around 25% to all the way till even 40%. So, but just to get an average benchmark, just expect to pay close to 22-25%. So if you make for example $5,000 a month as a salary, just an estimate, so expect to pay close to about $1,000 or 1,400 $1,400 every month as tax. So that's the range. I mean, otherwise you may have to just look at the tax calculator on the website.
Let me clarify one more thing here, sir. You said that I'll be able to work 20 hours off the campus, and if I get a job in the campus, I'll be able to work easily 40 hours.
You can work as many hours you want. If you are if you are attending a university which has a campus, and the campus has a library, has a McDonald's store on it, or something, any business on it, anything happening, maybe you are working for a parking office or something, any job that you get on the campus, there's no restriction how many hours you can work as a student. But of course you could not expect yourself to be working full-time hours, because when will you attend the classes? So as many hours you can exceed 20 hours also, that's the law. But if you are constantly working for 40 hours plus, then they will wonder if you are even attending any classes.
Yeah, that is to be understood.
Yeah.
And you would be paid a minimum wage. Say, for example, you're paying about $12. That is the minimum wage in certain provinces.
Yeah.
And if you're working a job like that on campus, say, for example, 30 hours, you would fall in a certain tax bracket. Is there a certain tax bracket like that for different earnings?
Yeah, and once you're working as a student, if you're earning $12, $13, $15 an hour, you will probably not make much money. I mean, you will probably, what is this? Not even $900 a month. For that range, you will not attract any taxation. But I'm not a tax expert. You need to go to Google and type Canada Revenue Agency and then look at the tax bracket and check it out. But if you're making only 10,000, if you're making only $10,000 a year as a student, so I will not worry about the tax at all here.
Just wanted to clarify that if there is something like that consider. Okay, can you hold again for a minute, sir?
Please.
Chance with the rest option provinces. The only option that we have because of the age and the qualification that we have is going for a step. The next option is going to visa and try to find a job and then apply for the work permit. That is another
दोस्तों मेरी आवाज YouTube पे आ रही है? Just let me know yes or no कि दोनों की आवाज आ रही है. Just type yes or no please अगर आवाज आ रही है. हाँ जी, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
My brother was asking if there is any other option of going for a PNP at this particular age category, and I was explaining no, we don't have any of those options because of the age and the qualification that we have. The only option that we have is going for a study and then getting the work permit and then applying for a PR on the basis of the work permit for after working. And the next option was going on a tourist visa and trying to find a job. So those were the only two options that we had. So that's what I was trying to explain.
That is right. That is absolutely right.
Okay. Basically, you have answered all the questions, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, thank you very much. Let me know if anything else works out, and then we will tackle that question as well.
Yes, sir. If anything comes up, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amarjot.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
हेलो.
हेलो.
हाँ जी, कौन बोले जी? आवाज ऊंची बोलो जरा. I'm sorry, की नाम है? This is what? चरणजीत सिंह बोलो जी. मैं आवाज ਤੁਹਾਡੀ सुन रहा. बोलो जी, की सवाल है?
Actually, I'm of the senior category of 32 years of age.
42 years age. हाँ जी.
Yes. So the point is that I'm also looking for study visa.
स्टडी वीजा अप्लाई कर लो सर जी. कि मेरे तो सवाल की है सर. मेरे को सिर्फ 1-2 मिनट है. सवाल की है स्टडी वीजा करना है तो कर सकते हो. कोई गल नहीं. एज दी कोई पाबंदी नहीं.
सवाल है कि स्टडी वीजा ਵਿੱਚ करने वास्ते ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਾਂ?
ਸਰ ਜੀ ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰਾ ਸਪੋਰਟਿੰਗ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ. ਬਾਕੀ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਾ ਪੰਗਾ ਨਾ ਲਿਓ. ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਅਪਰੂਵ ਕਰਾ ਲਓ, ਜਿਹੜਾ AIP ਅਪਰੂਵ ਕਰਾ ਲਓ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਕਰਨਾ.
नेक्स्ट थिंग डिफरेंट वीडियो से देखते हैं कि नॉर्थ इंडिया से जो लेवल ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस है वो घट है. लिविंग टू दिल्ली.
ਸਰ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਕਰੀਏ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਹੋ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੇਚ ਵੱਟ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਕੇਰਲਾ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ. ਸੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ. ਦੇयर इज नो वे आउट देयर.
Yeah, of course. Okay. ठीक है. I'm just having good questions, so I won't take much time. Next thing will be I've already done PGDPM in postgraduate diploma in management.
हाँ जी.
So still I'm looking for MBA. And at this age, the one MBA which is possible is executive MBA.
या ले लो एडमिशन, कोई गल नहीं, ले लो, अप्लाई कर लो, एडमिशन ले लो.
No, the doubt is like few universities declare that it's a full-time course, so it's a 2 years course, and few universities say it's a part-time course. The amount of classes they're conducting the same.
ਸਰ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੇਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਮੈਂ ਲੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ, ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੰਡੀਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਸਲਟੈਂਟ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੈਫਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ. ਜੋ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਸੂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ, ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਰਸ ਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਪਾਰਟ ਟਾਈਮ MBA ਜਾਂ ਵਟਐਵਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੁਛ ਹੈ, then you have to go to a second choice. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. There are two, I would say at least 15 to 20 MBA programs in Canada. You have to select whatever is available from the website.
I really appreciate that. I've done only that research on you are only suggested to go for the good universities.
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
So the one that chosen is the University of Ottawa.
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
So just wanted to check if it only have a good reputation.
ਅੱਛੀ ਰੈਪੂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਸਰ, Ottawa ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ Ottawa ਵਧੀਆ ਰੈਪੂਟੇਸ਼ਨ, ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਫਟਾਫਟ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਉੱਥੇ ਛੱਡੋ ਨਾ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਫॉर योर टाइम ਸਰ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ.
Just one question, the last question I have.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬੋਲੋ.
This is the last one. As I said, the PG diploma I've already done. That's the postgraduate diploma. So shall I declare that while I'm applying for the visa, because the visa officer should not say that okay you already done the.
ਸਰ ਜੀ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ, ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ. ਝੂਠ ਦੀ ਦੁਕਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਚਲਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ. ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸੱਚਾਈ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ, ਸੱਚ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਅਫਸਰ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੁਕੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਮਿਸਰੈਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਚ ਆ ਜਾਓਗੇ. ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਕਮੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰੋ, ਜੋ ਸੱਚਾਈ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਬਿਆਨ ਕਰੋ ਪਲੀਜ਼.
Okay.
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸਰ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ.
Thanks a lot.
ਦੋਸਤੋ ਕਾਫੀ ਕਾਲਸ ਵਾਰਾ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ ਆਈ ਕੈਨ ਟੇਕ ਮੇਬੀ typically 1 or 2 call perhaps, ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਸਪਾਊਸ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰੀਏ ਜੀ, ਮੇਰਾ ਐਕਸਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਐਂਟਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਕਿ ਸਪਾਊਸ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਆ. ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਈ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਬਣਾ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ YouTube ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸਾਫ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਅਗਰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ, I do not know. ਜੇ ਅਗਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਟਾਈਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਖ ਦਿਓ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਤੇ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਕਿ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸਾਫ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਅਗਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਕਾਈਪ ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ. ਇੱਕ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੈਣੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. ਸੋ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ, ਅਗਰ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਕਾਈਪ ਅਗਰ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਕਾਈਪ ID ਲਿਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਉਧਰ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ 101, ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਡ ਕਰ ਲਓ. ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਪ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕੀ ਹੈ. ਜੇ ਅਗਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਅਗਰ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਪਬਲਿਕਲੀ. ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ, ਸਪਾਊਸ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਵੇਸਟ ਐਨੀਬਾਡੀਜ਼ ਟਾਈਮ. ਆਲਰਾਈਟ, ਸੋ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ. ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਕੁਛ ਮੈਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ. ਜ਼ੀਸ਼ਾਨ ਅਹਿਮਦ, ਹੈਲੋ ਭਾਜੀ, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ. ਲਵ ਫਰੋਮ ਲਖਨਊ ਫॉर मैंगोस. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜ਼ੀਸ਼ਾਨ ਅਹਿਮਦ. एंटरटेनमेंट कंपनी trying calling some. हरविंदर सिंह, what all supporting documents? हरविंदर सिंह कह रहे हैं कि सपोर्टिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स किहड़े लगने हैं फॉर PR लिए, सारे दिते हुए बदर वेबसाइट पे. यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ रॉयल रोड, नीना जोशी कह रही है बहुत अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी है, ले लो अगर जो मिलती है. ਤੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡਿੰਗ, ਡੈਫੋਡਿਲ ਸਰਵਿਸ, ਫਲਾਨਾ. ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ, ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਛ ਲੋਕੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ, ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਖਾਸ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈ ਯੂਨੀਕ, ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਡਿਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਪ ਕਰੋ ਸਕਾਈਪ ਤੇ. ਮੇਰੀ ID ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪਬਲਿਕਲੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਨਰਲ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਹੈ, ਸਾਦੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਫੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ. क्षमा कर देना कि भाई आई कैन नॉट टेक दोस क्वेश्चंस रिपीटेडली बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू रिपीट दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन अगेन। वरुण कह रहे हैं सर मेरी वाइफ अप्लाइंग फॉर स्पाउस वीजा, आई वांट टू अप्लाई फॉर स्पाउस वीजा अलोंग विद व्हाट्स एडवाइस। ठीक है, ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਈ ਮੈਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਣਾ ਚੁੱਕੇ हैं। हैमी वॉर मेरा ओपन वर्क परमिट गॉट रिफ्यूज लास्ट ईयर, वाइफ इज नाउ पीजे कैन बी बाइन। समझ नहीं आई। अच्छा, ओपन वर्क परमिट रिफ्यूज हो गया वाइफ। हाँ ठीक है जी, एमी वॉर दोबारा ही अप्लाई कर सकते हो ब्रदर जी, होर तो कुछ कह नहीं सकते। चढ़ती कला च रहो, थैंक यू एंटरटेनमेंट कंपनी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। सुमिंदर टेडा बोले क्लाइंट वॉइस इज नॉट क्लियर। हाँ जी, मैंने लगता क्योंकि कई बार इंडिया तो कॉल करते हैं, शायद हो सकता है कि हरविंदर सिंह हाई फ्रॉम दुबई, आर यू कमिंग टू दुबई नेक्स्ट ईयर। हरविंदर सिंह दुबई में आना है तो तुसी अगर जो फ्लाइटा खोलोगे तो आवांगे किस तरह आइए, कोई फिर क्वारंटीन का चक्कर है, कुछ है प्रॉब्लम है आजकल। आई वुड लव टू कम। सुमिंद्रा डेटा कह रहे हैं लव फ्रॉम न्यू दिल्ली। सीमा राय कह रही है विल अ स्पाउस यूएस वीजा रिजेक्शन कॉज अ प्रॉब्लम? ऑलवेज डज नॉट कॉज अ प्रॉब्लम। यूएस वीजा रिजेक्शन अगर होंदा है तो जरूर वो क्रॉस चेक करते हैं कि पहला की उत्थे कहानी सी। So it's not sometimes के problem होगी, but you have to declare it all the time and find out कि उत्थे कोई problem नहीं सी। So there are a lot of questions here. Could you please explain? तो पार्थ अजमेरा कह रहे हैं कि एक्सप्लेन करो 201 सेक्शन की है। 201 सेक्शन अजमेरा साहब, मैं कई बार इसके बारे में वीडियोस में बना चुका हूं। अगर आप मेरे चैनल पर जाओगे इसके बारे में कम से कम मैं 5-6 वीडियोस में बना चुका हूं कि 200 सेक्शन क्या होता है। सो वो है। बाकी है, थैंक यू वेरी मच ब्रदर। बहुत सारे लोग बहुत जल्दी टाइप करते हैं, मेरे पास इतनी जल्दी पढ़ने का वो भी नहीं, मैं जल्दी पढ़ूं उसको, बिकॉज इट जस्ट कीप्स ऑन रोलिंग। सो अगर कोई बात करनी है किसी ने तो आप स्काइप पे मेरे को अपना ऐड करके टाइप कर देना। सो अगर मेरे को लगेगा कोई यूनिक सिचुएशन है तो हम उस पर बात करेंगे। अदरवाइज थैंक यू वेरी मच, खुदा हाफिज, नमस्कार, और विदा करते हैं और फिर दोबारा मुलाकात होगी। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर टाइम।